Hello and welcome back to the Northern Lights Rewind, where we have the dream team. It's me, it's Ryan, it's Styles, it's Lene, and we're at the final five. This is, I guess, the penultimate episode. No, we'll probably do a postseason, like whatever. So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, last episode before our final three, and a lot has happened. I mean, not as much as last time, I guess, but we have two rounds to discuss, and then we'll get into our top five in their games. So we had a bad read again. All of us said Rachel had a good shot of winning, and Rachel was the next one to go home.
Yep.
Let's talk about that final. Was that final seven round where Rachel left?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What
Yeah.
happened? Why did Rachel lose?
Um,
Loaded.
I don't know. I mean, I know, like, I think she just didn't pitch herself in that Revo. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Revo.
Well,
But leading up to
it was kind of a wacky cycle because we were split into teams, and then the one team got immunity, but they also couldn't vote. So then it just came down to four people voting and being eligible to be voted out. So it was kind of like very bizarre circumstances. Also, Jimmy and Steve were both safe.
She got twist fucked. There's no doubt about it.
He
100%.
definitely got twist screwed for sure.
Yes.
No, though,
and-
because Vince literally said, like, I'm going on vacation, vote me out. And they were like, nah, it's Rachel, it's fine.
I mean, I think Rachel also told him to vote her out too. Like Luke and Peter, are the only one people that wanted to stay in the fucking game at that point. That's probably why it happened. Because Rachel like said something to DR, but like it's over. Like I'm done. Told him to vote for me. And then she got the tie, and that would have been epic. That would have been epic, yo. They should have went to rocks.
I'm surprised though that like it even happened because Peter had that extra vote, didn't use it, and I mean, Peter could have just prevented that whole revote anyways. But I don't know. I think I've really underestimated Luke and Peter in this game. And I think other people are also underestimating them, and it's coming to my realization now because everyone knows they're working together, and two
Yes.
votes at this small number of people is so powerful.
It
And
is.
I'm just like, what are they doing? They're just letting them just like walk all over them, and they're just like, but yeah, the twist definitely screwed Rachel. I mean, the bot screwed them all. They said two alliances, let's put them on separate teams in that challenge, make
Yep.
them face off, and then split up the alliances. And I was a little bit happy because the Jimmy, Brooke, and Steve group is like kind of like a little bit of like the I would say like the underdog outcast. Like they've been fighting, scrapping, and I was a little bit happy for them. But yeah, Rachel, and then in that revote, Rachel just basically felt like gave up. Rachel was like, if you don't want to save me, it's fine. I don't care, blah blah. And didn't even want to do a fire making challenge. So maybe Rachel was just defeated and they sensed that and they were just like, we don't want someone who's defeated who's here.
Do you think that if she had fought a little more that they would have kept her, or do you think it was kind of like,
Well, she was going to be at least making fire because I don't think Luke and Peter were going to turn on each other.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think they sensed that. I think if she fought harder and wanted to do that challenge, I think that Vince would have tied the vote again, and then
I think
But
she
it
would
seemed-
have beat Vince in fire making.
I think she was against Luke.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it
that
she,
Luke?
would've been-
yeah, she would have
Yeah.
been. She
She
would
would
have
have
crushed
beat
Luke.
Luke too. Let's
Yeah,
be
Luke
real.
is the.
Okay,
probably
but
the worst
wait,
looking
if there was
competitor.
another tie, wouldn't they have been safe? And then the other two
No.
been
Because it was
Are you
four people. Because it was four people.
Okay.
It defaults to those rules. Since it's only four
Okay.
people that are involved. If even one more person was involved, it'd be rocks. You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why. That's just kind of how they do it. Because I've seen it happen like during the pre-merge and like past seasons. So
Yeah.
fires
Yeah.
been made.
Can we just talk about that comp though? Like that was executed so well by Brooke, Steve, and Jimmy.
Yes.
The family feud.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that was so fun. It was
Peter,
And then they
Rachel,
thought
and
they
Vince
were
didn't know
gonna
what
get
they're
away with
doing.
hockey. That hockey thing sent me. I was like, oh,
Oh yeah, for those who didn't know, in the end, there was a double points round that could have made it so Rachel, Peter, and Vince's team could have tied it up and not lost. But um the family number two of Brooke, Steve, and Jimmy were trying to throw it so that they couldn't get enough answers on the board to get enough points to tie. And so at a sleepover, they said play ice hockey, and one of the answers on the board was play game, or he said, and was play games, and we had them clarify to see if they meant like, oh, like watch hockey or play hockey, and they were trying to throw it with a random answer, and playing hockey is a game, so they ended up getting the point, and their whole throwing strategy didn't work, but they
It
ended up
was
winning
smart.
out anyway.
It was smart. It was very smart. But yeah, it didn't work. But then it still worked. So it was all good. You know,
Yeah.
everything worked out.
It was funny.
So then we have our top 6 round where we lose Steve. What went down there?
I'm so sad for Steve. He's put in so much work.
I
Ugh.
know he's been fighting from the bottom for quite some time. Basically, since the merge, even before the merge, he was kind of like a little bit on the outs and distrusted, and like it just at some point or another, they're like, oh, I just need my table on accident. At some point or another, you have to take that guy out of the game. Like you just have to, and they all knew that because he's like such a charismatic force. It's like letting Boston Rob get to the end. You know what I mean? That ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? He's gonna win. So you gotta get rid of him at some point. And he was very impressive considering the circumstances because he should have been home. You know,
A
final 10.
long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. He scrapped idols, big vote flips, like, and he's definitely had like a part in that, planting the seeds for that, and getting over his ego and teaming up with Jimmy. Like that's great gameplay too. You know what I mean? That was amazing.
That
It's
was a
a cool
nice little
storyline.
story arc.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was-
think they were ever gonna speak again, and then all of a sudden here they are, and I was like, yes.
Like at
The
some point, you
kid-
guys did have to come back together though, because they were both on the bottom.
the character growth was incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was definitely a good
Steve
story.
is like a nice all-stars candidate, potentially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steve, yeah, 100%. Steve definitely can come back. There's a lot of people from the season that would be interesting in a second go around. I think.
Liv.
Yeah.
Someone has to say it. Liv.
Of course,
Yeah,
Liv.
Liv.
Yes, a lot. Even more than that, a lot of people like second chance this season. You know, where's
Yeah.
that at? Have
Yeah.
that going.
I
So
think
why did Steve lose?
I think Steve lost. I mean, they've been talking about this for a while. They were like, the next chance they got that Steve doesn't get immunity, he's gone. And I think since he didn't win, they finally just went through with what they said, and they were just like, we got to get him out now. And I think they truly believed he didn't have any advantages or anything left, especially because it was so late in the game and he had so many. I think they were like, here's our chance. If we don't take it now, we might not get another one.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but I think that originally it was like when they compared like Brooke and Steve, like they considered Brooke, but then Brooke made the deal with Peter and Luke. So they weren't going to go back on that when they could get Steve so easily. So I think that he was just kind of like a casualty because he could have made that same deal with them at some point and it just never came to fruition. And Brooke took it and Steve was gone.
Yeah, it was about them not being able to beat Steve at the end, in their opinion. You know, I think it's
Mhm.
because like Steve was perceived as like running the show during the pre-merge, like pretty much the whole time. Like everyone kept saying like Steve was the leader.
Yeah.
Even like when Liv went home, everyone blamed it on Steve. Like Jimmy was like, "It's Steve. Like Steve did it. Steve masterfully played this round." He said he said that to everybody, and like that doesn't help. That doesn't help things at all when people say that, because it's like, oh, that guy's good, and it just sticks with you for the whole time.
Yeah. I think Brooke got him good. Brooke is very quick when it comes to making those deals as fast as they can, especially when they need to. And I think that's where Brooke always kind of like sweeps them under the rug. They're so quick to make those deals that no one else even has a chance, even if they wanted to.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah, I agree. And
So
she also changed her mind very quickly too. That's one thing with Brooke, 100%. She's like 5 minutes from now, her final three idea might be different. It really might. She really changed her mind a lot, which is
Oh,
interesting to
for
watch
sure.
because you never know what Brooke really is going to be doing by the end of the day. So it's kind of
No.
cool.
I
There's
think-
direction there, but there's multiple directions that she could take.
I wouldn't want to work with someone like that though, who's like constantly up in the air. Like I need
Of course.
I need solid plans. I need like what do you want to do?
But to
Yeah.
be fair, Brooke with them is very solid, but it's in the confessional that they're like back and forth, but like they don't portray that to anybody
At
else.
all. No, exactly. They're with whoever they talk to, they're with them every single time.
Yep.
I think it was to Brooke's advantage that the other people who have been voted out that are in jury now, like Rachel, Leah, openly saying how Brooke doesn't necessarily like talk circles around you, doesn't talk game. I think it was to her advantage of them even saying that, because I noticed now that Brooke is talking more game with them, and I think that's what's also getting them through these votes. I think if they never mentioned that to her or to them, they would have been like completely fucked. And I think that they helped her, like they helped their game by saying that to them. as
Mhm.
well.
Well, and I guess
So-
we could just kind of start with Brooke out of this 5 since we're already talking about them. Can Brooke win still? We were kind of like, it needs to be a very specific scenario on the last episode of this podcast. Has that shifted or is it still kind of the same?
It's heartbreaking because I think from my perspective, I love them. I want them to win. I think that they've played a great game, but I guess at least from hearing what the jury has to say and what past eliminated players have to say, I think that they all agree, or at least they've convinced each other that they don't think that Brooke had good jury management. They haven't been able to talk
Yeah.
a lot of game with them while they were in the game with them. So they don't really know. And then maybe Brooke's final jury speech will wow them if they get there, and that'll completely change all their mind and open their eyes. But ultimately, I think at this moment, unless that final jury speech really wows them, I think that the jury is very against anti-Brooke, which breaks my heart.
Is Brooke the 0 vote finalist?
It depends. It definitely depends on who she's next to, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lene.
I would hope not. Like Brooke has done like a lot of good things, and I think that it's just going to be overshadowed, I think, by the remaining players. I mean, maybe not Luke, like, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Brooke can definitely win. I think she has to sit next to probably Peter and Luke. I don't think Luke will get any votes. As much as I love the kid, he's my best friend. Not gonna get any votes against anybody. I think he's like locked in 0 votes.
I think
Unless he has some.
everybody sees Luke as like Peter's puppet.
Yeah, and also it doesn't help that he like hasn't been like as active as he was.
Mhm.
You know, it's like of course they're gonna be seen that way. So it's gonna be between Peter and Brooke. And if Peter comes out and like doesn't own his game or his speech just sucks, like whatever the case may be, and Brooks is at least somewhat good, like I think Brooke could definitely win like a close vote. I think it'd be very close because I think Steve votes for Brooke, obviously. I think Jimmy then votes for Brooke as well over Peter. If Jimmy goes like, this next round, because Brooke and Jimmy have gotten so close. And like that's 2 votes already. And we know that like who does Peter really have on the jury supporting him? Like, does anyone like, man, Peter's really doing good? A couple people say he's playing a good game, but they're not like, go Peter. They're talking about like Vince is amazing, Vince this. Like that's what the jury is talking about. They're not talking about Peter. You know what I mean? They're talking about Jimmy and Vince the most,
And
especially Vince. They love Vince.
To be fair, it's only Leah and Rachel that are pro Vince.
That's what I'm saying. But that is like when they're just saying Vince, like that gets into your head. You know what I mean? This jury is very strong minded, I think. So I don't think like Fio will be swayed by what Leah and Rachel say. You know, like Fio's gonna do what Fio wants. But I don't know at that point. Who does Fio vote for? Like they both stab Fio in the back. So who knows where that vote goes? Like these are up for grabs. It's all based on the finale, in my opinion.
Well, and at what point is like Luke more important to Peter on the jury vouching for Peter's game than in the game with Peter?
But, that's a very good point as well. I think that works both ways for Luke and Peter as well. Like Luke maybe could get a couple votes if Peter's there. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's tough because I don't think Peter, like if Jimmy or Vince are there, like I think both of them are gonna. I think especially Jimmy will crush the final speeches for sure. Like if Jimmy's there, he's winning because he's just so good at speaking and like conveying his game. Like there's no way that he's not gonna win those guys over. But Vince is playing a good game, and a couple people do like him. But I could see Vince like maybe selling the bag a bit at the jury questioning, just like stumbling on his words and maybe like getting defensive. Like the jury might not like that. So maybe I don't know. I think Peter could beat Vince too, because I think Vince could flop at the finals. No offense to Vince, I could just see them getting a little bit defensive. So I don't know. Jimmy can't be there, unfortunately. So, but he's gonna be at the Final Four. It doesn't really matter.
Jimmy is on an immunity streak right now. If I were in the game, I would be absolutely horrified because like now it's just coming down to fire making.
Yeah.
3 in a row.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, and he's fucking all the tokens during the game, the idols, like he's playing every aspect of the game. You know what I mean? His resume is fucking gorgeous, and he's gonna be able to say that to these people. I know he is.
I think if you're looking for a well-rounded player, Jimmy is that player remaining. Nobody else has been able to do half of the things that he's been able to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Does Jimmy win against everyone else? in your
Yeah.
scenario.
I think he might not look like it right now from the jury chat, but those people will be won over by Jimmy. I promise you, because Jimmy will own his game.
Yeah, he needs
He'll-
to have a good speech.
He has so much fucking like shit to throw at them that's so impressive. Like his thought process isn't like the one thing that's against Jimmy is that the jury thinks that his reads were bad. Like he played idols wrong twice. I mean, that's not like the best look. Like there's more strategy to the second one because it was like supposed to be Jimmy and Steve. Like we're making sure they don't vote us out. So like that's an understandable thing.
Mhm.
But Jimmy is like has been everywhere and hasn't really had a direction. And that might be the hardest thing for him to explain. Like, what was I doing
think-
then to get me to this point?
I think he kind of needs to explain it as he was trying to like discard his threat level because people think he has these idols and people see all of these advantages that he's holding and he was a big threat. So I think that if he comes out and says, you know, I did those idols on purpose to make it look like I wasn't a big threat, then that might help him sell his game a little bit more.
He has talked about that in the confessional, so I think he actually probably
Mhm.
will say that. And I think that like it's a reasonable thing to say, you know? So
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds from like right now that like Jimmy's number one, I'm like most likely to win. Then
Okay.
Peter, then Vince, then
Then Luke.
Brooke.
Then Brooke, sorry, yeah, not Luke.
Then
Luke's on the
Luke?
bottom. Yeah, Luke's number 5, unfortunately.
How
fine.
so Vince, in order for Vince to win, you think that he needs to go with Brooke and Luke.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
agree.
Yeah.
yes.
What are the
For sure.
chances of that happening? It's like the real question.
They have to come like it has to because Luke wants to save Vince right now. Luke is actually talking to Vince about making a move right now, but it was like Jimmy's not immune. So then what? Do they vote Brooke out? You know, it's really, really tough because like I think Luke's right move is to probably turn on Peter right now. But he's
Mhm.
not gonna I don't think that's gonna happen. So I think Vince
Well,
is
because
gonna
you have
go.
these, yeah, you have the three people on the bottom, and their best chance of winning is all with each other. But it's like Luke would have to turn on Peter. Jimmy has to lose at some point. It's like, does this ever come together for them?
Yeah, it's very improbable at the moment. But I could see like Brooke having an epiphany. Oh shit, I gotta sit next to Vince and Luke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that might happen. That really might.
Yeah.
For me
Yeah.
personally, I think if I was on the jury and I saw Luke turn on Peter, I think that would be a huge resume booster, and I think
Yes.
I would boost Luke a little bit higher. Like I wouldn't put Luke first. I would put Luke maybe like fourth or third after that because I would be like, after all that, you're like still willing to make big moves. I think that would be bold. But yeah, so I would like to see that happen. Luke finally being like, bye Peter, we've had a good run.
Can you imagine though? Like,
That'd be crazy. That'd be fucking insane. It would definitely be like
No-
a cool moment for sure.
That's
is,
like-
that gonna happen though?
Not only that, I want Luke to use his token to show that he did it.
Oh, he has his tokens still.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
No, that'd be
Oh,
gaggy.
shit.
That'd be
Yeah, he's
gaggy.
gotta. Yeah, he has to do that.
Well, and
yeah,
that's the
100%.
that's the only power left in the entire game, and it's only good at till final 5, right?
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
to turn on. If he turns on Peter, like maybe he has like. Not right now. I don't think he's thinking that, but you never know. Like the thought could come.
What do we
I
think
would
is the
be-
most likely thing to come out of this final 5? Like, who goes home here?
I think it's gonna
probably Vince.
be. You think so? I think it might be
Yeah.
Brooke.
I think maybe. I don't think right now it is, but I could see it becoming Brooke 100%. Like if
I don't know. I think it depends
Mm.
on how active Vince is over the next 24 hours. Because, I mean, he is on vacation.
Mhm.
So, and we're like at that point at the end of the game where it's like you have to be present and you have to like push your agenda. And if, I mean, he's not nearly as present as he was before. So I don't know how much pull he's going to have.
yeah, he definitely got a little burnt out. Possibly it happens. It definitely happens. You see it all the time. Like they just lose all momentum.
Especially in these like long-term games. I mean, we're at like, I don't know what day count we're at, but it's got to be like over 30 now, right?
Yeah,
Didn't we
Yeah.
start
100%, right?
April something?
Oh yeah, we
Like-
started April like 3rd or something.
Yeah.
It's been a
something like
long
that.
ass
Third?
fucking game. Definitely, I don't
Maybe
know about
no.
the third. It was late
I think,
April
like-
though. It's been a little over a
I
month,
think-
like 20 something.
I think it was like 24.
I don't know why I
Yeah.
got
That's still a long fucking game. Yeah, that's a long game.
No,
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
before that because isn't that the week that Cesar and Brian went to
Greece.
Greece?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know. I'm gonna have to
scroll. I'm
scroll
gonna
back and add
figure it
some
out.
day counts to this spreadsheet I have anyway. So I guess we'll
Yeah.
find out soon.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
find.
s-
Don't worry, I'm figuring it.
I see the cast withered. Like I've seen them mentally deteriorate, and I've just seen them like so exhausted, and like I'm so proud of them, and then I'm also just like, dang, I feel so bad because you
Yeah,
could
no,
tell
this
like
Yeah.
this
was
is a
intense. It's intense,
such a
yeah, this season.
social strategic cast. Like I know I would be drained.
Mhm.
Yeah, the way this game has went and how crazy it's been, like the moves that it went down, like how many times someone's been backstabbed and blindsided. Every single person has been blindsided now at this point. So, and like left out of a
Yeah.
vote. It's
I'm reading
it's draining.
confessionals and I'm like, people like some of them are saying in their confessionals, I don't deserve to be here. I don't know if I should even go to the end. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
when you
this is
start
so
having these downs, yo. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
telling you, I understand it. I've fucking been there. It's more so like when you have more like Steve and Jimmy. Jimmy is definitely like here and there. Sometimes he's like really down on himself too. But like Steve has all this experience, so like that nothing bothered him. You know what I mean? But then you have like Brooke, who's pretty new to the org game. You have Peter that doesn't play that much. You have Vince, who's just really like a wear his heart on his sleeve guy. You know what I mean? And then you
yeah.
have Luke, who's never played any fucking games before. You know, so
It's a really interesting
I get
final five. Like, do you think this is like anything you could have pictured earlier on that like this is who would have been at the end?
I think I would have I definitely think at the beginning I think I saw Brooke and Jimmy here for sure.
Yeah.
remember my winner pick was Peter. So
Yeah, you did. For the whole time you've been saying Peter, you're right.
yeah, I haven't really I've been kind of a little backed off on that, but he actually has a decent chance to win after these last couple of weeks. So even he was in kind of a
Yeah.
bad spot before for sure, but he's like got a shot. He's a top 3 to me that has a chance.
I agree.
Possible.
I agree with you.
I don't know. I
agree.
think Brooke beats Peter though, but I don't know. Peter's really good at speaking too, though. So if Peter is not against Jimmy, I could see Peter winning the jury over for sure.
I just
So-
hope the
The way he
jury's
talks.
nice.
Yes, I don't know about that's not gonna happen.
So one last before we get our final three, who is your current winner pick?
Jimmy. Jimmy.
I'm
I
like
think
Jimmy
hoping.
wins,
I'm
too.
hoping it's Jimmy, but
I think he'd be a
got
really
that.
good winner, man. But
He's
it's gonna
got
be tough.
that,
He has
like-
to win.
You
Yeah.
don't want it to be the Malcolm like cut at Final Four, and it's like, damn it.
That's what I'm saying. He has the shot to be that, you know. But I think he's just like so far above them in competition prowess, you know, and just everything. He's gonna have plenty. He's gonna have like a big chance, you know.
Jimmy
1 in
would be
4
a
chance.
fun winner.
He would, yeah. He's definitely a highly played the shit out of the game for sure. And he was like messy as hell, but really entertaining. You know what I mean? He's like an Adam Klein on steroids. You know what I mean? That's his game.
Yeah. Ryan, what
Oh,
about you?
also-
Who's your winner pick?
Okay. I want it to be Brooke, but I think if they get to the end, it's gonna be Jimmy. I
Yeah.
think Jimmy will be the winner pick.
Yeah, if Jimmy doesn't win the challenge, I think that Brooke is gonna win because I just think Brooke, like this is just Brooke's. Like I feel like Brooke's been like the main character of the season to me. Like, one of the main
Yeah.
characters. Like she's a
Especially with us.
hell yes. Her and Jimmy to me are like the and this is no offense to any of the other castaways. You guys all this has been one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen, but just like the story that Jimmy and Brooke have had are fucking nuts. Just
I mean, they
Yeah.
both lost their number one before
yeah.
merge.
Yeah, and then they're on the bottom pretty much the entire not the pre-merge, but the beginning of the merge. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's interesting, and they've also obviously just been like Brooke leaves a video confessional every single day. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
of course that's gonna be like one of the main characters. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like a long
Yeah.
video, like 15 minutes. She's just going off and giving good sound bites. I'm like, damn girl, like why don't you go on the real show? You know what I mean? What are you doing?
Right.
I think
That's
all the
what-
people left could go on the real show and like actually be like an interesting character on the show. I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, even
That's
like
what I-
everybody.
That's what I think too. I was gonna say, like, I love the cast. I've got to know all of them, especially from the confessionals, and I've really grown to like know, love, and appreciate all of them. But like that's also like why I have like a soft spot in my heart for Brooke, because like seeing the confessional videos and so often is like you're really getting a piece of them and getting to
Yeah.
hear their voice. So I'm just kind of like, I don't want anyone in the cast to think that I have any favorites, but that's why, like, if you make your video confessionals, we really get to know you deep inside, and it makes us like really get to have a soft spot for you too. So make
Yeah,
it
yeah.
confessional so we can fall in love with you more than we already
Brooke
do.
is kind of like the Carolyn of the season, where like we get so much of them and we
They've been
fall in love with
underestimated.
them, but it's like, oh, can they win?
Yeah, they've been underestimated the whole game too. That's like one of the
Mhm.
cool. That's like definitely a cool similarity. I think that Brooke is a little more strategic than Carolyn, but But man, she's definitely a really no offense to Carolyn. Carolyn's a good player, but Brooke is
Oh, I'm sure
fucking.
she'll see this.
Brooke is
Yeah.
good.
Carolyn
This will
watching.
also maybe you never know one day. What if she comes and plays? You know what I mean? Who knows? You know, what if
He did play. No, Carolyn did play Orgs.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Ryan. Yep. And
Which one?
what if this becomes like the most popular org there is? And Carolyn's like, I gotta go do my research. Like, and then they go back and listen to the podcast. You know, that
I mean,
Styles guy,
again.
fuck that guy. Yeah.
I need to know what fucking org she played. I need to know.
Also,
I mean,
this will be a
Derek
few
is
people's
famous,
first win.
so it's possible. I'm not repping my Derek merch, but it's possible he's
Derek.
famous.
I don't know if Jimmy has won a
Derek.
long game. I don't think Brooke has won a long game. I think Vince has won a few games. He's played a lot of orgs.
Mhm.
Luke has obviously not won a game. So a lot of these people, like, this would be their first W.
As
Yeah.
someone who's never gotten a W, I am hoping it's someone who hasn't won yet. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you've never won?
I've never
Derek,
won a
that's
long
fucking
game.
that's insane to me because I feel like you'd be a really, really good fucking player. Oh Jesus.
I've been second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, but never first.
I hear you. I've only won once. It was like a fast game, so it didn't really count. Not a long
Yeah,
game.
I mean, I won a mini, but
Yeah.
Oh, I'll never win a long game, that's for sure.
No, I think all of you guys could win. I really do.
we need to all four
I got-
play together, and then it would be chaos.
You don't want to play
Listen,
with
I'm
me.
telling you, the Northern Lights prod thing, it shouldn't happen. Like,
Mhm.
it's not- get a
Me and
game
Cesar in
time.
trials were like,
Well, yeah.
It's not going
Legend
well for
season.
us.
When legend season comes, watch out.
please.
Yeah. Wait, Ryan, you played season 1, right?
No, I played season 3 of Big Brother and I
Oh,
got
Big
fourth,
Brother. Okay.
but
Yeah.
the most competition wins. So I'm just like, I don't have to be social. I just don't put myself at risk and then I'm okay.
Ask him how many comps he's won in Bonnaroo. I'll wait.
I won. We won mine.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
any final thoughts on our final five before we go?
I'm proud of them.
Me too.
Keep up the
So
good
proud.
work. Love you. And you know, you all deserve your spot here. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You worked
It'll be an
hard, you all
iconic
played your
final
own
three
game.
regardless.
Yes, everyone's
Yeah.
played a really good game. Like, I know, like, people like are like anti-Luke, but Luke is like literally the person that comes up with like everything that Peter does. Like, it originates in a voice call with Luke every single time. Like, I've really watched it, but he's not here, so he's not gonna get any credit for it. Understandably, because that's just how it works. Perception's reality. But everyone that's left like has played a really fucking good game. I think everyone at the merge like had their really good moments. Like, even if they were super messy, some of them like really played good and had
Yeah.
really,
It's been
really
fun.
cool moments.
People came here to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an understatement because a lot of orgs is like one alliance just runs it to the end. It's easy peasy, and maybe like one or two things happen, but like every
had,
vote something has
This had
happened.
twists and turns. Like if I was watching this on television, I'd be thoroughly entertained.
Oh my god, yes,
Oh,
because the
for
characters
sure.
too, the characters and the story. Come
Mhm.
on, yo, this would be
Yeah.
crazy. This is
Mhm.
100% top 10 season ever. If real.
Oh yeah,
Survivor,
we killed it with the casting, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god.
Ourselves on the back.
Okay,
Pat all you
so-
motherfuckers on the back.
the next time we do this, we'll have our final three, and we will break down all of their games from start to finish.
Yes.
And yeah, good luck to the final five.
I was actually gonna bring this up. Potentially exit interviews with some people.
Oh, Styles and me doing exit interviews.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be everybody. It could be like a certain amount. You know what I mean? Maybe the jury.
the most
or-
fun, yes.
Yeah, we could invite. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
start getting those questions together, Styles.
Yeah, I'll work on that. I got you.
Okay, cool. Well, this has been another episode of Big Brother Rewind, and we will see you all for our penultimate episode next week. Okay, goodbye.
Woo, let's go. Yeah.